And action. So today I am going to change the oil in the 1991 Honda truck that I got from Japan, the Kei Truck. And I'm going to show you what you need and really how easy it is to change the oil in these trucks. Wait, let me let orange cat go in. Go in. Wants to go in. Okay, so I get these trucks sometimes from a vehicle exporter directly from that sells used Kei trucks, or sometimes I get it from auction. And frankly, I don't know what their service history is. And when you get a used car, when I get a used car, I usually change the oil, just do basic service, because you don't know where the vehicle has been. And I'm gonna tell you what you need when you change the oil for this particular Kei truck. So let me go over what I have here to help you. I have motor oil, synthetic motor oil for this, 10W30, which is recommended. And also because the weather here is warm, if you are in a colder climate, maybe 0W30 would work, or 5W30. Gloves, so my hands don't get oil all over them. A oil pan. Normally I have a regular oil pan, but I wanted to show you when I drain the oil what it looks like. I don't even know what the condition of the oil is. An oil filter. This one is a FRAM that I got at Home Depot. And I also put some other options, or what do you call that? Alternatives to this oil filter in the link below, and maybe I'll list it somewhere here in the video. A 17mm socket to open the oil drain pan and drain the oil. This is 17mm. And if your oil filter is really tight, this is an oil filter removal tool. Now, these oil filters are small, so I think I can get my hand around it and turn it. But for like a high performance car, sometimes they stick, like this Corvette. Definitely you need an oil filter tool. So I'll show you where the oil cap is in this truck. It's right here. This is where the oil cap is. And the drain plug, it's right in here where my hand is. You unscrew it. Pull it out. And there you can see the oil. Actually, the oil doesn't look too bad, but I don't know when is the last time they changed the oil for this vehicle. If you do a lot of your own oil changes, I recommend getting a creeper. Now, this is what a creeper is. You can lie on it and move around. I'm gonna lie on my creeper. Now, one thing good about this truck is that it's so high off the ground that you don't really need to jack it up, which is, it's such a blessing. I don't want to jack it up like the Corvette. I have to put it on race ramps. Sometimes I got to jack it up just to change the oil. So in here, down here on the bottom, if you can see that right there, that's the oil filter. Right there. We're going to remove that after we drain the oil and then put the new oil filter in. The oil pan and the drain plug. Let's see if I can get this GoPro down here. It is right there. See how convenient this vehicle is? There's the drain plug. 17mm. You put your socket in and loosen it and the oil comes out. Now, I have already warmed up the vehicle, and always warm up the vehicle prior to you draining the oil, because if you don't warm it up, not all the oil is going to come down because it's still very viscous. Remember that when you warm up the vehicle, it makes the oil temperature higher so that the oil can drain easier, it can flow better. I've owned a lot of different cars, probably more than 40 vehicles, and many different brands of vehicles I've tried. And the most important thing you can do for vehicle ownership is to change the oil. And so sometimes the service interval for your car would be maybe like twice a year. What I'll do is I'll do it 3 times a year. And I always use the best oil that I can find, usually like a Mobil 1, there's Royal Purple, a really good synthetic oil, because really oil is the blood of your vehicle. I haven't had any major problems with any of my vehicles. As a matter of fact, some of my vehicles have gone beyond 300,000 miles of ownership. So, and I drive my vehicles pretty hard and often. I drive this Corvette pretty often, and I keep the service intervals. I follow it, and I'll do 1 extra service. So if your manufacturer recommends three oil changes in a year, I'll do 4. If it's 1, I'll do 2, sometimes even more than that. Because, you know, really oil and an oil filter, it's usually less than $80 to do that. And you should change the oil yourself every now and then. So maybe of the 2 that you have, if 2 is recommended annually for your vehicle, of the 2, you can do it at your dealership or at one of those oil change places. But do 1 of them yourself so you can see the condition and the quality of your oil, and it makes you get to know your vehicle. Yeah, got it loose, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Gonna see why I use gloves in a moment. There you go. Yeah, this is some black oil. So it's about 3 quarts of oil that the vehicle takes. That's why I'm using this pan, just to kind of show you how dark the oil is that comes out if you don't know the condition. So look at that, the color of that oil, as opposed to oil that came from the bottle, brand new virgin oil right here. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the difference. Black compared to this amber colored oil. Your oil should look like this, somewhat like this. It is black, it's a little thick, and if you let your car run on oil like this for a long period of time, man, you're gonna have some issues. So I'm glad I'm changing it now. Man, this thing looks so good. I want to drink it. It looks like whiskey. Let me try it. I'm just kidding. I actually had to use the oil filter tool, that thing, because it was kind of tight in there. But I got it out. Now I'm going to replace it. You put a little oil on the rubber seal on the top there. Some new oil, and then you tighten it. And once it makes contact, just like a half turn. So when I was trying to change the oil filter, the one I showed you earlier, this one, PH9688, it does not fit. And you don't want to cross-thread the oil filter. So I went back online and I found something that may work, an alternative from Napa. It's Napa 1365. So I'm going to go buy that now and install it. I'll let you know if it works, and I'll put the actual alternatives here. So be careful, make sure it fits when you screw it on. I want to show you the oil filter that I got out of the truck. It's called a Micro T62, and it's made in Japan. This is the oil filter that came out of the truck. Now, these are the oil filters I got from Napa. They say that are the equivalent. This is a Napa Gold 1358 and Napa Gold 1365. I bought these 2 filters. The difference is, you can really see, is the height between the 1365, which is this one, and the 1358. The 1358 is a little taller, but this is even taller than all 3 of them. So I'm gonna try the 1358. So I asked the people at Napa to find the FRAM equivalent, and the FRAM equivalent is PH6607. I wrote it down. Let me see if I can focus on that. PH6607 is the FRAM, this brand, which is popular at Home Depot and stuff like that. So there you go. So 1358, 1365, micro T62. The oil filter worked, and now I just filled it with oil. Remember, it takes 2.7 liters, or approximately 3 quarts of oil. And if you're wondering why there's a long hose attached, it's because I don't have a flexible funnel. And you're going to need either a flexible funnel or a hose attached to a normal funnel, because if you look carefully at the way the oil filling location is, it's almost straight right under here. Look at the light. It's almost straight, so if you just put a regular funnel on it, it'll spill out. Let me show you what I mean. Look at, you just put it in, it's gonna spill straight out. So you need something that goes up like this to go into it. So I just got a garden hose that was lying, an old garden hose that I discarded. I cut it, put it in like this, attach the funnel, and everything worked. If you're curious to know how much oil I took out of the truck, this is the 3-quart line. So that's how much I put in, just about. This was how much right there came out of the truck. That's with removing the oil filter. Is that right there? 3-quart line right there. So not that bad, but you can see there is some loss. So remember, the oil filters that will work is 1358, Napa Gold 1358 or 1365. The 1358 is taller, and the alternative is the FRAM PH6607. And remember, don't buy that other one that I showed earlier. Or if you're fortunate enough, you can get the micro T62. Thanks for watching.